Hi and welcome to this video that is the second in the Taipy line charts. In the first video we created a very simple line chart using our tgb.chart, and also we did some simple data transformations. We set up Taipy, etc. So we'll move on with this one and work with going more in depth into different type of customizations that you can make so that you can make the graph look like the way you want it to and not just stick with the default. So this will be really interesting as we will dive into tgb.chart and what it needs in order for you to customize it. So then we will go in more detail into plotly.js actually. But don't fear, we won't write JavaScript code. We will write it in Python still. And then we will put it into our tgb.chart. So this will be really interesting. So let's move on to the browser first. So here I am in the browser. I've gone into plotly.com/JavaScript reference and gone into the layout. So this is important in order for you to do some customization. So I will go back to this layout page later on and look for different things that I want. For example, if you want to customize the title, that the parent is the layout. So basically you will create the JSON object or dictionaries in dictionaries. It's in that dictionary, so you'll have some kind of property object that you will send into Taipy tgb.chart in order for you to customize your chart. So let's move on to Visual Studio Code. So from the last video, we have some markdown here, and then we have a chart, this line chart that we will do some customizations now, and then we have this data here. So let's do some customizations. So starting with creating an object here. So I'll remove this one and I will do like this. So properties equals to a dictionary of layout. Note that we had the layout here in plotly.js. So this is the base. After we go into the layout, we have a dictionary. If we want to change the title has the layout as parent. The layout should be a dictionary as well. So then I could do like dict. And here I will do layout, and then we have dict, and inside of the dict we have the title. So title equals to another dictionary actually. So the dictionary, we can put in the text equals to some kind of text that we want. And I will just paste this in like this. I run this one. And here's my app. And you can see that we don't have a title yet because we need to bind this property into the chart. So let's do that. Comma. Let's see. Properties equals to. We bind the properties and rerun this one. And you can see, yes, we have the title here. So you can see that the title is a dictionary of text. And we could add more properties here inside of the title. So what else do I want? I could make it bold. So inside there we have font. Font equals dict. Weight equals bold. Like this. If I save this one, we rerun this one, and we can see that it becomes bold. And also I can change the size. Size equals 18, for example. We can change the color as well. So if I do 28, you can see that it changes a lot, right? Now it's become super big. So 18 is good for me. Okay, and also I will place, so I can do a color here later on. So this is how you build it up. You have the layout, and inside of the layout is a dictionary, and inside there we change the title, and the title is a dictionary, and then we change the text of the title, we change the font of the title. Okay, so these were some minor stuff with the title, so let's continue here. So we're still inside of our layout here. So after the title, let's go on. So I'm inside of the layout, right? I want to have the x-axis equals to dict. And the x-axis, I want to do grid equals to, actually that doesn't help so much. I don't need that. I will do title as well. So title equals to dict of text equals to, let's see, year from 2007. Save this one and rerun that one. You can see we get the year from 2007 and so on. Let's see, what do I want more? I have the x-axis. I want to make the font into bold as well. So it's the title, right? So font equals dict of weight equals to bold. Rerun this one. Yes. And now I want to copy this one. So Shift Alt down button. And I will do y-axis. It's basically the same. However, I will change the name of it. So what do I want it to be called? I want it to be called quantity. Save this one, run this one. You can see it becomes quantity and it was quantity before, but now it becomes bold. Okay. So basically like this. And let's see, we can do some more customizations. I want to have some colors now. So these are some colors, some grayish colors that I have. So I paste this in and I will use this in my font here. So I will do color equals to, let's see which one I choose. I choose gray 1 and I will choose gray 1 here as well. Color equals to gray 1 and title, let's see, we can do color there also. Color equals to gray 1. Okay, let me decrease a little bit so you can see everything. Or I could make this a little bit larger. Decrease, increase. Okay, and make the terminal smaller. Yes. Okay, rerun this one. Now you can see the color becomes a little bit weaker. It's quite nice. I don't really like the grid here and I want to make it a little bit cleaner. This is actually outside of, so let's see, it's here in the layout, but it's outside. I think it's outside of the layout. Let me try. Plot background color. Let me change it to white. And then I want to have paper background color to white as well. Rerun this one. Yeah, nothing changes. Let's see. I want to have these. I want to have them inside of my, let's see. Actually, if they're inside, then I need to do like this. Okay. This one. All right, that doesn't change anything because it's already white. Let me see. Okay, so this doesn't change anything because it's already white, so I don't need it. I remove this one and it should be same here. So what do I want? X-axis, I want to do show grid equals to false. And then save this one. You can see that the grid has disappeared for X-axis. And I want to remove the grid for Y-axis as well. So title Y-axis here. Show grid equals false. Save this one. Yeah, that was what I wanted. So much cleaner. Okay. And now let's continue with, I want to change the, so it's outside, we have layout here, is this dictionary, and I want to be outside of the layout, and I want to do like this marker. It's dictionary of size equals to 10, for example. I want to change the marker size, and you can see it becomes much thicker here, or much larger. And I could change the symbol equals to, let's see, square, for example. Okay, now you can see it's squared, and I can change the line. As I don't have values in between, I will make it into, let's see, dictionary dash equals to dash, and then I will also change the width equals to 3. Okay, let's see, it didn't work. So line dash equals dash. Yeah, it worked. I just needed to refresh it. So this is how it looks when it becomes larger. So as you can see, it doesn't look so nice when it's full screen, but we can make the page smaller later on. Okay, so I will move this back here. Actually, this size, it looks quite nice. Okay, what else do I want? I could do some annotation. And the annotation I want is, I want to have an arrow pointing to this dip here and tell why the dip happened. So it's actually due to automotive crisis or financial crisis. So I will point that out. And as you can see in the documentation, if I search on annotation, let's see if I get into annotation. Actually, I couldn't find it here, but I have found it before. And the annotation is under the layout. So you still have annotations here. So annotations equals to, it's a list because you can have several annotations. And for each annotation, there's a dictionary. So we have a dict. And inside of this dictionary, we could have text equals to dip due to financial crisis. And we need to place it somewhere. So x equals 2009, y equals to, let's see, 50K. So 50,000. Let's start with that. Let's see where we go. So you can see, yes, around y 50, it was a little bit higher actually, and 2009 here. So let's change this. Let's do an arrow here. AX equals 100, for example, and AY equals to minus 30. Okay, rerun this one. And what it does is that we have an arrow pointing towards this point, which is around, it's 2009 and 50,000. And the text is placed with some, so it's placed based on the AX and AY. So for example, I place 500 here, you can see that it has moved, right? So there's an offset of X. So 100 or offset for our text. Okay, so I want to place it back here. And then I could change my arrow color. So let's see, arrow color equals to gray 2. And you can see it's a little bit grayer here. And we can also make font equals to dict of color equals to gray 2. So I make this a little bit weaker as well. Actually, that could be gray 1. Yes. Okay, so in this way we have made a, let's see, we can make this a little bit further to the right. Yeah, and we could make fine tune it a little bit, 49,500, for example, and this 0.1. So this is just trial and error, and you can see 0.15 maybe. Yeah, it looks better. Okay. So here we have done line and marker. And let's see, what else can we do? Yes. I want to change the hover now. So I don't like that the hover is default on 2013, 76.77K. So I want to customize it a little bit more so that it becomes more readable. So what to do here is that there's something called, you can create a chart config equals to a dictionary. And here inside of this one, you have something called hover templates. And inside of the hover template, you can create how you want it to look like. So basically, I want to make it bold here for year, and then colon, stop the bold, and then I want to place in my X. And then I want to break it so that I get a new line. And after that, I want to make this bold, and I want to do quantity and stop the bold, colon, and I want to place in my Y. And the hover template, it should be placed under, or this chart config should be placed under options. So in the options argument equals to chart config. Okay. So save this one, and you can see the hover has changed. Cool. However, I don't like this. You can see here on the right, there's some blue text called quantity. So in order to clean that out, we need to do like this. Extra / extra. So nothing in the under the extra. Okay, save that one. Okay, much better. However, I'm not truly satisfied with how you should hover, because then I need to go down to each of the points. Actually, I want to change the hover mode somehow. And that can be changed inside of the layout. So here inside of the layout, we can have, say, for example, before the annotations, we could have hover mode equals to X. Restart this one, and you can see now it hovers when I move in the X direction. Yes, and right now, if I zoom out, it looks like a mess. However, I will make a little bit of layouting. So let's do that here. tgb.layout columns equal to 1 colon. Let's see, I will place this under the text actually. And let's see, under the text, and we need to do like with tgb.layout. And then the line chart I want to place in one side, and then I want to place this in my other one. If I save this right now, you can see how strange it will look. So now it looks like this. We have the first one, line chart, is in the first column, and then the second element is the tgb.chart, which is the second one. So this is totally strange. So what I need to do is I need to group them with tgb.art. I can do as line chart so that you can see what you have grouped. And then with tgb.art as raw data, and then I place this inside. Okay, better. But it doesn't look good when it's so small, because we need to go here before it goes into block mode. But I won't show you how to fix that for now. Instead, I will focus on the full screen. So the full screen looks quite okay. What you could do here is we could have more gap here, for example. I want also have this class name equals to card, or not card, container. Yeah, if it's a container, you can see that it gets squeezed in the middle. Actually, I want this one inside of the container as well. So what we should do is actually take this out and do a with tgb.part class name container and also card. And then I place everything here inside of that. So if I save that, yes, it looks better. So now everything is inside the card. And then we have the container here. We have the layout for one for our chart and one for the data. And what we could do here is that you can see there's a margin here. There's a margin. Actually, the data, we can make it have less margins. So in order to do that, we could do, for example, we can customize the margins a little bit here. So this is under the layout or after the layout. So in the properties, you could have margin, colons, dictionary. And here, bottom equals 80, for example. L equals to, let me see what I have chosen before. I have chosen, yeah, let's try that out. Let's try with 0 in the beginning and see what happens. And then top equals to 80, right equals to 0. Saving this one. And it seems that it doesn't change so much. Let's see if I do left equals to 0 exactly. Bottom equals to 80, top equals to 80. For example, if I choose 0 here, what will happen? Yeah, actually you can see it a lot. Why is that? We have this under the lay. This is outside the layout, margin as dictionary. Let's do some big change to see. So if I do 100, what happens? Actually, I cannot see some changes. Okay, now it seems to work. So basically, I forgot that I needed to put the margin inside of the layout. So here it's inside of the layout, so then we can make it work. So 80 is the default. So then 80 works here, and actually I need the numbers as well. So I need to have left, for example, F80. It's maybe too much. Let's see, 40. I want it to be a little bit more. 60. Okay. And if I look at the big one, yeah, it looks okay. Yes. So what could I do more? I could move the text actually. Let's see. And the text, let's say top 80, top 40, for example. Actually, that was better with 80. Okay, so what can I do more? I can actually move my title a little bit. So let's move the title a little bit. If we choose Y here, we can change it. So if I have chosen a Y, we get the 0.5, it's in the middle. But I want to have it a little bit up, so 0.9, for example. And now it's a little bit less margin than before. So here you can play around with what you want. So basically with this, I'm happy with the results. What I could do is that I could give some more margins here and I can make the raw data smaller. Okay, so I played around a little bit with some parameters to make it look a little bit nicer, and it was some detail that I was playing around with, so I will just show you them. So let's go into VS Code, and what I did play around with was the gap. So this gap to rem is the gap between these two here. And I played around a little bit with the margins so that I could fine tune how I wanted the graph to look like, where it was placed. And also I played a little bit with here. Actually, the X doesn't work, but Y. I played around a little bit with that one together with the margins and with this gap here. And that's basically it. So now you've seen me work with Taipy line charts and doing some more customizations using the layout and using the properties and the options in gb.chart. So by doing this, we were able to make the graph more storytelling and make it more into what we actually want and not just let the default govern exactly how the charts would look like. So I hope that you really like this video and see you in the next one.